Hello again and welcome back. Now, in the last video where I introduced you to the upgraded tool collection that I've made, the 18 volt DeWalt tool collection, I mentioned that I would at some point go back and revisit each tool and explain more about them in detail as what their functions were like, what the tool itself was like, after I'd actually used the tools so that I could give you a better judgment of what the tool could do. Well, here I am now, pondering on doing that. But then I thought to myself, well, with all these tools, how would I actually approach this? I can't do an unboxing, they're already unboxed. They're unboxed, they're used, some of them. No, they're all still new, so I can still do that bit of it. But to do you a review on each one, it would be a bit silly if I was to say,
here is the DCF 887. It's the impact driver, DeWalt's new impact driver. In the box, which is a T-lock box, so you can lock together, very nicely done, you get in there the machine itself. Here we have the DCF 887, along with a charger, standard charger, takes an hour to charge, and 2 batteries, 5 amp hour batteries.
which I think would be a little bit tedious and a lot boring. I think it would be a lot easier if I just pick up a tool and explain to you what I think of that tool, one at a time, without all the silly boxes and stuff. We all know you get a box, a plastic box, a cardboard box, sometimes even a carrier bag, depends how you buy it and what you pay for. You'll get batteries, you'll get charger if you pay for them. If you don't, you won't. And so on. So let's do it that way. But that would mean this is going to be a bit of a marathon rather than a sprint. So if you're getting a bit bored, you're aiming at one specific tool, fast forward. But I'm not going to cut bits out. I'm just going to plod through it all so you get to see and understand every tool as we go. So let's get on with it. First off, let me just introduce you to the radio. The radio, it's an old radio is this now, which is good because it means I've used it a lot. It's the digital radio, which means you're not getting a lot of static, horrible ins and outs. Picks up the signal very quick. I use it all the time. I take it inside, drop it down there, off it goes, and I'm wandering around, ignoring it. It never gives me any bother. If you want something a little bit different, it comes with a side port that plugs into your telephone, plugs into your MP3 player, anything with a USB. So if you've got a memory card, you can leave the door open, shove it in, it will take it off of that USB type, not an SD card. Simple fold away aerial at the back, it's a whip aerial so it doesn't get damaged. The whole thing is encased in this very hard crash barrier, which stops it getting damaged when it's kicked around in the van. If it gets kicked around in the van. You'll see, it also likes paint. Mine loves paint. It's got bits of paint all over it. It's also got the 240 supply, if you need it. I never do. Just charge the batteries. The batteries themselves, I didn't bother, for this, buying DeWalt batteries. 70 quid a time for 5 amp hour. I bought these 5 amp hour, made by somebody else. Probably some little Chinese man in some little Chinese village. Cost a bit, 20 odd quid. It work, perfect. Why are we complaining? And I've been using them already for a good while. See, straight on, and there we have it. And there's my favourite section. As soon as it comes on, it's on.
I've eaten enough already.
And there we have it.
So we use the Change for Life food scanner app to find out how much sugar is in our food.
Perfect, yeah. No problem at all. Now, with the battery fully charged, like that one is, you'll get a good day out of it. So you don't need electric. If you've got 2 batteries, you've got backup in case you're doing overtime. So there you are. And that is the radio. They do all the radios to do all. They do. I just bought one out, 200 odd quid, and I thought, really? Someone going to pay that for a radio? A stacker sits on top of it. Anyway, this one cost me 60 odd quid. But now I think it's touching the £100 mark. Right, the model number, should you want to go for this particular one, is the DCR 020 GB. GB. Okay, they must do a different one. And it'll take 10.8 to 18 volt battery. Really? So it'll take the smaller batteries. Oh, well, there you are. See, I didn't know that. Anyway, so there we have it. It'll also take a variety of batteries. And that's it, a digital radio. Next, let's look at the SDS. Now, Sds Plus. This particular one is marvellous. It really does the job. I've had this on site, I've done holes 300-400 long, really, and 18 mil, without any problem at all. It has got an electronic clutch on it, so if it jags in the wood, more like, so if it jags in the concrete, it doesn't rip your arm off, it stops and holds, and then you can release it and carry on. It's 18 volt, it's got, as you would always expect, it's got hammer only. Hammer and rotary only. It has an LED for when you're working in the dark. Seems a lot of DeWalt tools now have LEDs, maybe they don't have electric anywhere, and so they have no lights. But it's useful. Now, the main good feature about this is it has a shock absorber system in it. All the work you're putting onto this isn't going into your arm. It's absorbed in that. You see it sinking in? That's what happens. It's going brrrr, your arm is staying still. Very useful for the longevity of work, especially if you're doing big jobs. Depth stop set into the handle. Most of them have. A bit stiff. It's got a nice feel to it. I like it. The one I had, 24 volt, I had it for a lot of years and I used it a lot. And it was nice at the time. This leaves it standing. It's only 18 volt, but it leaves it standing. It is a really nice, powerful tool. There's not really a lot to say about it, apart from if you're needing an SDS battery, go for this one. I've not tried the other ones, any other companies, but this one I know. It's good. It does the job. It's very nice. The model number is DCH273. DCH273. The do one up, a DCH274, which you can remove the chuck and clip in a standard chuck. But be warned, that'll cost you. That's a premium. That's very expensive. I'm not interested. Just get an ordinary attachment and plug it in. There you have it. The Sds Plus drill does the job. Now my favourite, the go-to tool every single day of my life that I'm out working. The impact driver. This one, unlike the old ones, has been much better balanced. The XR rubbery grip that they've got is nice. It cuddles your hand. It really feels like it belongs there. There's no rubbing, there's no awkwardness, there's no blisters going to come if you've got it in your hand for hours or anything like that. It's just a nice feel to it. Overall, from previous, it's shorter. It's more powerful. All the specs are up on the last one, but I'm not a computer, I've not got them in the head. Sorry. But what I will say is, it's a remarkable tool. It doesn't stop, it doesn't give up. I'll use this all day long on just one 5 amp hour battery. And that's because it's a brushless motor. Brushless motors last a lot longer. They stay cooler. Work far better than the previous brushed motors do. Key points to this one is, firstly, you've got 3 LEDs there, so now you've no shadow. Before you used to have a shadow from underneath. You got one LED, you got a shadow on the top. Especially if it was, you put a block of wood on and you go like this and it'd be hitting the block of wood and not shining on what you wanted. Found that a problem all the time. The other thing is, they made it 3-speed. Now when I first noticed it was 3-speed, I thought, what is the point of that? It's got an accelerator trigger. What's the point of having a speed control as well? But when you want to do something slowly, it can be a bit tiresome on your hand doing it all the time like that. You knock it down to first lowest speed and it's going slow all the time. And you're just squeezing. You've still got variable. But you can relax your hand by just squeezing. So, and it does work, it is a case. I've tried it and yeah, it can be tedious when you try and do things slowly. You got 3, so there's your maximum. And then a lot faster. Now, I use mine a lot for drill bits as well as screwdriver. I have augers to go in it, I have a full set of drill bits to go in it, so you're not, even though it's an impact driver, probably not going to just use it for driving. If I'm taking this on site and I know I may have to do some screwing into hardwoods and such, I'll take a handful of drill bits as well. I won't take a drill, extra weight. You know, you don't want to take the drill bits that take the square shank, the hex shank into there. So you'd be using it for many things. The other thing is this. It's a little magnet plate they put on the side. Before they had a slotted thing, spring loading, you put your bit in it, and I don't think anybody used them because you couldn't get them out, and when you did, it ended up coming loose and ended up falling out, and you lose them all the time. So nobody ever used them. I never used any of them. This, it just stays there. Now I always have a PH2 and a PZ2 because that type of screw head. Whenever you're doing bathroom, say shower enclosures and such, you get the stainless steel screws, always PH, never PZ. But when you go and buy a box of screws in there, they're always PZ. So I have the two, so I can swap them over nice and quickly. But in there you can put a flat one, you can put a torque bit in there, you can put screws on there, anything you want, and they hold on very well. So that is a useful added on feature. Pocket clip, I never use them. My pants never stay up strong enough. So it's there if you want it. The other good feature I like about this was with the previous one, I used to find that it's almost the same size as a right angle screwdriver. Especially when you put that in. Trouble is, getting it back out again, because it's spring loaded, you need pliers. It was a pain in the backside. So you only did it when you had to. But now, the made it spring loaded. They're anticipating that you want to do that. Perfect. Silly little things like that really make life better. A lot better. There you go. That is impact driver, GCF 887. Next is the workhorse, the 3-speed hammer drill. It is a nice machine. It's a powerful machine. It comes with, obviously, a side handle. Because it's got a lot of power, you need that side handle. You can do some big work with this. Your hammer setting. Nice and big, chunky collar. Not like the other one, it's very small and delicate, trying to get hold of it all the time. But it also has a slow start when using it for screwdriver work. If I'll stretch it round to drill, listen. Very quick. Take it round a screwdriver and you hear it ramping up. Yeah, I'm squeezing. I mean, you've got slow, but I'm squeezing hard. It's ramping up rather than going straight in at full speed, which is a good feature when you're doing delicate work. It's got an LED. Most of them got LEDs. But this one's a torch as well. See? There you are. Now it's a torch. Save your battery. I can't see where I'm going. So it helps. As I say, it's a 3-speed hammer. So you've got the hammer action, you've got the drill facility, you've got your screwdriving facility with your torque settings. It will do what your other ones will do. It will go into your concretes, what is it? 13mm. It will go into your steel, what is it? 13mm. In your wood, what the hell do you want to use it for? Put a flat bit in there, it will do it. Put a Forstner bit in there, it will do it. Put a hole saw in there that's designed to go into a drill, it will do it. Whatever you put into this that is designed to be going into a drill, it will do it. It has no problem. It's a very powerful machine. Also, bearing in mind the fact that it is a brushless motor, therefore you're getting a lot more battery life out of it, and it is cooler. They don't get hot though, brushless motors. You get a lot more life out of it. Plus it makes it more powerful. Brushless is a lot more powerful. This also comes with the magnetic plate. In this case, more for carrying drill bits than carrying screws, I would say. But again, use it for what you want. The drill bit. There you have it. It's not going nowhere, see? Hey? It's there, it's staying there. Very nice. And the model of this one is the DCD 996. DCD 996. Very nice machine. This is a personal dust extractor. I mean, come on, how many times you've been working in somebody's house and you've had to get a bloody big vacuum cleaner out and start shoving it into your tools because you need to do something that is going to make a mess and you can't do nothing about it. Well, this is the answer to it. We've got a battery? Show a battery on it. Let me demonstrate this to you. This. It is the DWH161. It's got a HEPA filter in it. This thing. It removes dust right down to microns. What microns, I don't know, but very small. It's got the stamp to say it is operator protective. So it is designed to protect the user. Very easy. That is it. You just turn that off and empty it. Simple. Shove this on your shoulder. Shove it on your shoulder so that that's facing forward. So shove it on that shoulder. Obviously, if you're right-handed, you're going to be operating the tool here. You want it on that side. So shove it on that side. There, like that. It's there. Or shove it up your head. You want a bit more comfort. Like that. There it is. Nice and easy. Very simple. Turn it on. Noisy, that. We've got some dust. Yeah, we've got some dust. There we are. There's some dust. You see? Now we're not really looking at something to use as a vacuum cleaner. We're looking at something to be used as a dust extractor. So, I've not demonstrated yet the sander. It is the ideal tool. So here we have the DCW 210. It's a 125mm pad random orbital sander. Random orbital sander. I need the attachment for this and it goes into there like that. Very nice lightweight tool. Very useful. On off there. Not noisy, and volume control there. Speed control. Could have said noisy. Right, speed control there. And if we go along, and then we turn this on. I'll hit that soon with a planer, but there you are. See, it's taking off. It's quite thick paint, is that? But there is no dust anywhere. That's the thing. No dust. It's all clear. Whereas ordinarily you would have got a reasonable amount of dust out of there. That's it. Get used to it. I'm not used to it yet. So that was the, what was that picture first? Oh, we got some white dust there and all. That is the dust extractor. As I said, when you're doing stuff like this in somebody's house, that's when these things are important. Being able to do that. With some tools, their own personal dust extraction that's built in is such that you don't need it. But if you do, that is very useful, and it's very lightweight. Right, so that is the dust extractor. Let's put it over there. Yeah, I know I've done it. And the sander. Very nice. I mean, they've got the dust bag that comes with it, but as we know, with these type of dust bags on sanders, there's no drawing. It's not sucking it, and because it's not sucking it, you'll still get lots laying around the surface. So not good to use on somebody's house, I wouldn't say. Okay, next thing I want to show you is the plane. It's the DCP 580. Now I've used it, and I've got to say it is a remarkable tool. And I'm going to demonstrate it. I'll go to the bench. Do sort of a demonstration of what this thing can do. Now when you buy it, depending on the kit you buy, etc., you won't normally get this with it. Dust bag. It locks shut. It's got little clips on here like this, so that you've got less rubbish kicking around your van. and it don't get damaged as much. There, useful. Got a spring inside it to keep it open, so you could even use it as a blower. In a little bit. Unclips, opens up, and it's a bucket. It's a bucket that holds quite a bit. Okay, that, as I said, comes separate. It's about 20 quid. So it's worth having. Now then, the machine itself, very nice, good feel, good and solid. Features, you've got a blade protector which automatically drops down to protect your blade when you put it down on surface. Saves you having to keep winding it backwards and forwards. In the back here, we've got onboard storage for spare blades, should you need them. You also in the kit get a gauge for setting the blade, and on board you get a Allen key type torque key thing that fits them to open them, use and tighten them back up again. It's calibrations on the top there. Nice and easy, big control. And it'll go down to 2 millimeters. A 2 millimeter per pass. And believe me, it will do it. It does do it. I've done it. It's easy with this. And also you get a rebating fence. Goes in the front here. Slide it in. And it will take you down a good 8mm rebate. Just send it past the blade. Now it has a stop on it, so don't worry about it catching your blade, it won't. It has a foot on it there, and a foot on it there, so it's leaving your clearance, and that is why it gives you an 8mm. That is the depth it can go there. You lock that up, and then you've got your depth of cut. And again, now I've tried it, it works lovely. I'll show you. Okay, but first, let's just do a simple, normal bit of planing. Get this bit of wood. It's a bit of pine, it's been painted on one side, I want to get rid of it. It's nothing harsh, it's not going to affect the blade, so I'm happy to do that. Dust extractor bag on. Okay, that will push out the way as you're planing, but you can, as you see there, click it open if you're ready. Half a millimetre, and you can feel the half a millimetre. 1 millimetre. See there? Doing a rebate without me trying to do a rebate. There's a full 1mm. Now it's got the 2mm. I'll come back a little bit from that and do a full 2mm. And you can see, there's the 1mm, there's your 2mm. Now, let's try some rebating. Set it to there, set down half a mil at a time, go in a little bit further, there we'll do it. Okay. And And there we have it. Right, so that's just depth, maximum depth. And there we have it. Just a plane. Eh? Very nice, isn't it? You could pretty much put your router away and with that. That's just perfect, isn't it? Very clean, very smooth, very nice. So, very useful. Keep it clean. So there we go, there we have it. That is the DCP 580 power plane. A very powerful plane. Very nice tool. I want to look at the Jigsaw. Now, as I said in the past, with the last Jigsaw, I used it for a while and then I got bored. It lost its spark, it lost its ability to do a nice job. So I gave up on more electric ones. I thought, you know, new tools, new range, new ideas, maybe they've learned, maybe they've upgraded, maybe they've got better. I won't knock it. I read a few reviews, I watched a couple of videos, and I thought, you know, it seems quite nice. I'll give it a go. This one is the DCS 335. It's the pistol grip version. The pistol grip version. Instead of the D handle, the pistol grip. It doesn't come with a trigger. It comes with an on-off switch. Everything else is the same. You've got to leave it at the side there, push it, and set it how you want. Get back to central, and it's got a locking point on three different settings. Let's see, 45 both ways and 90. Get it to 90 and then lock it back up again. And there it is. Easy, simple on there. Protective sole plate, which you'd expect, and it comes with, like you just see me take off, the dust extractor, which just slides in there and then you should be just back onto that or whatever. It's got a quick load and it's got an LED so you can see where you're going. Speed control is under here, so when you've got hold of it, you're turning it with your little finger. It's very easy to use, very easy to do it. Functionally, I'm finding it simple. The good part about this, because it's a D handle, you can control it just as good that way as you do that way. Unlike a D handle, you can't. With this you can. You can take it underneath and cut down what you want, and then again from the top cut down what you want. Myself in use, it's always been a case of I'm here, I'm here. Your blade's there, you turn it on, you grab on the top and you cut away. You come away, you turn it off, you let go. So it's a two-handled thing. You can do it one-handed. If you've got to hold it and stuff like that, you can. But you want to get good work, it's a two-handled thing. And that is designed to be grabbed on of and manipulated in that way. It's a very nice tool. Let me see if I can do a little bit of a demo with it. Simple something. What is it? No problem. No problems. Very easy, very simple to use. So there you are. I mean, in my opinion, that is a go-to tool. That is one that will stand up against the electric ones without any problems at all. Very nice tool. And again, just to remind you, it is the DCS 335. DCS 335. You get the dust extractor with it, by the way, if you buy the bare tool. Have a look at the power saw. The power saw, which is a trim saw as such because you've got the blade on the left hand side, which typically with trim saws, that's what you've got. Now, they do two models of this exact one. One has a flat plain steel saw plate. It's a cheaper version. It's the one you will get if you buy a kit of loads of stuff in it and one battery. That type of thing. Half a dozen tools, one battery, cheaper. That is the one you'll get. If you go and buy the bare tool or a kit tool on its own, this is the one you'll get, which is a far better machine. There will be a number difference. I've not found out what the number difference is, but there will be a number difference. There's just got to be because there's so much different about the machine. This one is the DCS 391. DCS 391. Again, brushless motor, very nice, comfy handle. It's got your lock on the top there, on board Allen key for changing it, and at the back here, press the lever, out it comes, pull the lever down again, it's solid. It's easy to do, simple as that. On the back here, in between the handle, a little bit difficult to find out if you don't know it's there, there is an arrow on part of this, pointing to part of the body, and on that part of the body, it has got calibrations, showing you where you're going. But I've got to say, it can be a little bit difficult to see if you wanted to do an accurate measurement. Let me try. That says 20mm. It says there I've got 20mm on that blade. Is it 5, 10, 15, 20? Yeah, 20mm. Let's find out if it's right. Yeah. 21. Yeah. It's near enough to say yes. I mean, you're not doing precision on that. That is to say, I'm going through a floor, I know it's a 22mm floor, or I know it's a 18mm floor, or whatever. You want to set it so it's not going to be going right through too much, too deep. Or you've got laminate you want to go through and only just. And them sort of things. So you want a rough idea of where you're going to be setting here. And this shows you that. Which is useful. That there saying 35mm. 35mm. So yeah, it's reasonably accurate. That's good. So you can set the depth off on that. A little rip fence you've got here, again calibrated on there so you can work out how far it is from the blade. I presume again, I would say that's going to be accurate. Where are you going to actually read it? Do you read it from this or do you read it from that? I don't know. Let's see. We've got in here, printed on the body, a 0 and a 45 line. So you can tell when you flipped over where you're cutting. I presume you set the fence to that. So I'm setting it there at 40mm. On that inner line. Set it at 40mm. Let's see what it is. On there to the blade. Is it 40mm? Yeah, it's 40mm. So that's where you set it from. So your calibration on this must meet the calibration on the table. Not from the side of the sole plate, but from the calibration on there. So that suits that. But generally the tool itself is a nice, not silly lightweight, it holds its own, and it's got a beautiful sound. I like the break, it's nice. And it cuts clean. And it's only thin plying. I'm not going to be cutting up loads of rubbish, but it cuts like it doesn't hurt it. Just clean, just simple, just easy. Now we know it's going to do loads of thick, heavy duty wood. It's a big motor. It's not going to be bothered about what it picks up really. I suppose if you start shoving it on 50mm oak, it might need to go a little bit slower. But it's a good machine, it does a lot of good stuff. It's 55mm depth of cut. For that, you're going to be able to rip down all your timbers, pretty much your 3x2s, your 4x2s, all that. You're going to be able to do all that with this. Even your floor joist sideways on is only 50mm. You're going to be able to do that. That's the old one, 38 now. So you're going to be able to do that with that. So there's very little on site you're not going to be able to do with this. So really, that's all you need. And the fact that you're running down that side of the blade means that you can see the line of the work. You're not looking over the edge of it like you would be doing on a standard circular saw. You're seeing it there. To me, it's a lot nicer. And it comes with a dust extractor. Wow, there you are. Novelty. Right, so there you are. That is my chosen power saw. Remember I had 3? Now I only need the 1 because I've combined them. They've made the trim saw, still a trim saw, but with the capabilities of your main saw. Machine, very good. That's what I'm going to demonstrate at this point is this multi-tool. I've still got the router to do, but I'm going to do a separate video on the router because I want to get involved with the router and do a little project with it. So I'll demonstrate the router with work. The multi-tool. Model number is DCS 355. DCS 355. Now I moved to multi-tool after a lot of persuasion because I didn't think there was any point on site for me having a multi-tool. And eventually I bought one because I think Stanley were doing it cheaply. I picked it up, tried it, and what a tool! It did so many things for me. I thought, I need this. Thank God I've got it. And it went in my toolbox, it went in the van, and it stays there. I've used it over and over and over and over again. So this time I decided when I saw that DeWalt do one on the battery range. So when I saw it, I grabbed it. And I've already used it a lot. And I've got to say, it's not only a to-go-to tool like the other one was, it's even more so because now it sits there in the rack, in the van, begging to be picked up. Not having to get a box, open it up, find an extension link, getting it. All that lot slows you down and puts you off and thinks, no, I'll get a pad saw. This is sitting there begging to be used. So, I'll pick it up and use it. The other thing I found with the electric one was every time I brought it into somebody's house, I had to warn them. This is noisy. Because it was excruciatingly noisy. Always headphones on, close doors, don't let anybody else hear it, and then use it. This, not noisy at all, not really. The work itself, when you start cutting, might be a bit noisy, but the other one, as soon as you turned it on, it was painful. Right, now this, like every other tool of DeWalt, it's got the brushless motors, it's got the LED light, it does what it's supposed to do. Get a blade, probably running a bugger, yeah, I've been using it quite a bit. Blades, like with all, you can put it where you want it, turn it around, put it where you want it, yeah, it goes all the way around any which way you want. It's a multi-tool. And then you can cut it. Yeah. Cuts nice and simple. Very easy. Very lightweight. Of course, they're designed for making cutouts in stuff. When you need to get through something. No, but it's got a bit of ball there. Through. And again. What would you have to do to get that if you didn't have that? Especially if you wanted that intact, to maybe go back in again after you've done the work behind it. The amount of times we make holes to get into plasterboard, walls to get wires through and such, we want that piece to go back in. So if you start drilling big holes in and getting a jigsaw and a pad saw and stuff, a pad saw in plaster wood, no problem. In plywood, what a nightmare. And if you're drilling a hole, you've got another hole to fill. You can't just uncork around the edge of it and it's gone, it's disappeared. Very useful tool to have in your kit. If you haven't got one now, go get one. They're 100 and something. Depends where you buy it from. They're not expensive, they're not silly money. If you've got the batteries and chargers, get one and shove it in your kit. Really, you will be glad you did. The tool that is left to demonstrate, I've already demonstrated, and that is the blower. It is the DCV 100. The reason I got it is because my tools were getting dirty in the van. But once I got it, I found, wow, that is so useful. It just so happened I was doing a job for a customer on their driveway. And their drive was gravel. And I put all these wallboards to go into their bathroom. At the end of the day, the drive was covered in sawdust all over. You can't sweep a drive. You get a rake, I suppose, and start having a... Oh, I wanted to go home. I'm finished. I get this. I went outside and I went... Here we're gone. Just like that. Oh wow, thank God for that. 80 quid. Bare tool, 80 quid. It's a lot more than a sweeping brush. But if it's in the van, just sitting there, your tools stay clean, your van stays clean, your site stays clean. You can even inflate things with it. You can pump up balls and air beds and all kinds of stuff. Wait for some of them, pump up your swimming pool. It's an add-on tool that you don't really need, but if you've got it, things are a little bit easier. And at the end of the day, we don't need any of these. We've got hand tools. These are just to make life easier for us, and that's all it is. A saw, we've got hand saws. Drill drivers. Not long were the days of the Yankee screwdriver. Right? It was brilliant. It did the job, we loved it. But now we've got that. So it's all about making life easier, letting us get a better job done quicker. So that serves its purpose. It makes life easier. Right, well, for now, that's it. As I said, come back, I'm going to do a router one. I'm going to do a jig as well to go with it, so it'll be a project. So that one's still to come. Everything else has, I believe, been covered. There we go. Nice quick marathon job. Right, well, if you've got any questions, shove them in the bottom. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Otherwise, once again, if you haven't subscribed, hit the bell, you'll get to know about the router a lot quicker. And if you did, like it, please. Thank you. Right, well, thanks for watching. See you again next time. Bye for now.